Hello and welcome. Welcome to City Spotlight. What is City Spotlight? This is the show where we take you behind the scenes on the campus of Sam Houston State University and in the city of Huntsville, introducing people, places, events that you might not be familiar with. We've had a wide variety of guests on this show too, and we've got a terrific one lined up for today. Let's go to our first segment though. It's about a serious issue. Officer Thornton is going to talk to us about stalking. Let's take a look at that footage.
Hello, I'm here with Officer Joe Thornton from the University Police Department, and we're going to be talking about stalking today. So I guess you mentioned that the laws of stalking changed this past year in Texas. What is the legal definition of stalking now?
Well, I won't be able to quote verbatim the definition, but primarily what you're dealing with is any behavior that can make a person feel fearful, whether it's for their lives or someone else's lives, where they're either following you, texting you, whatever the case is, where you're getting repeated, especially if there's a second and third time, where there's repeated behaviors that makes you fearful. That's what amounts to stalking.
And does the victim, I guess, have to make any indication to the stalker that they want them to knock it off before they can go to the police? Or
what you're looking for is, as a victim or a possible victim, is you're looking for behavior that was directed to you. It's great to be able to say to the police, hey, I noticed the first time he seemed to be following me. I said, hey, do not follow me anymore. I like to run by myself, or I do whatever I'm doing by myself. Do not be around me. That's great to be able to document so that if there is a second or third time, then we have the documentation that she'd already warned this person not to be in her vicinity. And I don't mean to be gender biased. The majority of people, for women, it's 1 in 6 will be stalked in their lifetime. For men, it's only 1 in 19. Still a problem for men as well as women, but not near the basis that it is for women.
Now, what's the common profile of a stalker? Like, is it somebody that the potential victim knows already, or?
In 90% of the cases, it will be an acquaintance type stalking. It'll be somebody. The majority of them are somebody that the victim or the person being stalked had an intimate relationship with at one time, and the other partner just can't seem to let go. And that would work whether for men or women, so that they start initiating the stalking behavior. The main problem to me with stalking is the amount of fear it generates in the victim. It alters the way you're going to be working in life. So you need to be aware of if something has started, you need to report it to the police, see what can be done criminally. If it's here on the university campus, you can also file a Title IX complaint in relation to that. And the university has to work in conjunction with you after their investigation, try to alter circumstances so that person cannot be around you.
And what are some red flags, I guess, for people to look for in acquaintances or ex-partners?
Well, if you keep seeing them is the number one thing. That's where the stalking behavior has been initiated. If you might encounter them in a large venue, like let's say you go to Walmart, and there's the possibility that they could have been shopping Walmart at the same time. However, if you had a relationship with somebody and they generally, during that course of relationship, know when you're going to shop, they know when you're going to go to school, or whatever the case may be. So seeing somebody repeatedly is definitely a red flag to react to.
And I guess, how does the internet play a role now in stalking?
If there are a lot of people out there that try to initiate relationships, and they feel they have a relationship just the first time they talk to somebody or interact with somebody over the internet. It's so dangerous to initiate those types of relationships because you don't know if that person is a stalker. You don't know if he's a mass murderer. So you're having to be real careful where you're going to contact this person, and be aware of that some people, and usually a little mentally ill, illnesses involved with that, that they're going to connect to that person and latch on. And those are the ones that will come from Alaska to stalk that person here.
Wow. So is it a repeat type behavior for stalkers?
It is. It is. It's normally once they've selected a victim, they're going to stalk them until something is done to end their stalking behavior, whether it's criminal or for the university through Title IX. But they're more likely to repeat their stalking behavior a second time once they've been involved one time in the stalking behavior.
And with the internet dating and whatnot, with stalkers from out of state, are there certain things that they indicate while they're interacting with somebody online that would maybe kind of should warn?
It's the same thing with sexual assaults or dating violence or domestic violence. That person is trying to dominate a relationship. You're looking for dominating behavior. So you're looking for somebody that's going to say something that say something that's outrageous. They're going to, if you're having a dating relationship that could possibly lead to stalking later on, they may physically touch you in a way that you object to. If you do not react to the person at that time, then they've started their escalation process. The next event, next behavior will be even more outrageous. If they can get away with that, they'll continue with that. And that's a dominating behavior that you have to learn to recognize whether you're dating or involved in a relationship.
And now, what sort of assistance can law enforcement offer besides prosecuting stalkers? Like, I know we have ride sharing. I mean, what else do they?
I mean, we'll do our best. We'll advise you on ways to avoid the stalking behavior. Most of what we'll warn about is immediate contact with the police. So you carry your cell phone with you with 911 in there or with the University Police Department phone number. And when you see the behavior, you call. Okay, let us intervene. We'll do everything as far as prosecution as possible. Sometimes just because it's reported doesn't mean it will get prosecuted. And I'm perceiving that there will be a vast growth in the number of reports of stalking now with the changes, stalking, harassment, sexual assault. With all these changes, there's going to be a growth in that. So it'll be overwhelming to any one district attorney's office. It doesn't matter what the number of reports that will come in. But we'll certainly take whatever measures are necessary. If it's here on the university, there are a lot of things we can do through the education code to cut that off completely.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right.
Well, let's change gears here a little bit, and let's go to the campus here at Sam Houston State University and hear about health services from Andrew Miller. Let's take a look.
My name is Andrew Miller, and I'm the Executive Director of Counseling and Health Services here at Sam Houston. The Counseling Center is the main resource on campus that provides mental health services to students. And so if a student is struggling with really anything that's getting in the way of them being able to function academically or feeling like they're just not living their life the best way they can, we can help with that. Anything from depression, anxiety, having a hard time getting used to college, to things that are more serious, like if they've had a traumatic childhood experience or maybe more recent trauma. We are actually completely free. Students pay for the Counseling Center through their student service fee, and so because of that we don't charge for anything. And that's actually really important to us as well. We don't want there to be any barriers to students coming in and using services, and so we're dedicated to keeping things free for as long as we possibly can. We are actually required to follow state guidelines related to the practice of psychology, and so what that entails is that we're unable to share anything any student tells us with anybody without their express permission. So there's no academic record of them even using our services. We can't share that information with family members, friends, residents' life if they're living in the dorms. Sometimes we'll have parents call to kind of be nosy and find out what's going on. We can't even say whether or not that student's walked through the door. And if we did, we would actually open ourselves up to liability through the state. So we take that very seriously. We really strive to make the counseling center as comfortable as possible, and so we want it to feel homey, we want it to feel inviting, we want people to feel safe, to be able to share whatever they need to share, and certainly people do share some pretty uncomfortable things, and so it's important for us to have a safe space. Traditionally, they'll set up an intake appointment, and they can do that either by calling or coming in and setting up a time that fits best with their schedule. And basically that appointment is just, about an hour to sit down with one of the therapists, talk about generally what's going on. The therapist will ask them some questions to get a good sense of their life, and then they might start meeting weekly from then on. Students can also come in if they're having an emergency, maybe if they're feeling suicidal or if there's been a recent crisis. They actually can walk in, and we have times available throughout the day where they can meet with a therapist for just a brief check-in to make sure that they're safe and everything is okay. We have a 12-session limit per academic year for all of our students. Essentially what that does is it allows us to make sure that we're working with students as efficiently as possible. It also makes sure that we can get as many students as possible in because we actually do have a pretty high demand for our resources. But what we find is the average number of students, or the average number of sessions that most students use is about 5 to 6. So that still leaves them several sessions later on in the year if something should pop back up. We see a lot of students. Yeah, we actually, for the past year, have had a wait list of about 60 to 70 students just waiting to start counseling. We offer couples counseling at the Counseling Center. We actually do quite a bit of it, which is a lot of fun. And we actually encourage students to think about it not just in the traditional romantic partner sense, but we've seen roommates in couples therapy who are having a hard time. We've seen two friends in couples therapy who are maybe at a crossroads in their friendship. So it's really about just two people who have some kind of connection that are needing to kind of overcome something. And of course we will get the traditional, we're thinking about getting married and we want to kind of explore what that would be like. So it's a lot of fun. I think my favorite part is just being able to work with college students at a time in their life when so much is changing, so much is possible. They're kind of at this crossroads in their life, and so it's a really great moment to be able to make change happen that can last their whole life. And so seeing those moments in therapy when they start to get it, the little light bulb goes off, and you can kind of see them taking off full throttle, and there's just no barriers in front of them. It's really rewarding and exciting.
Okay, well, health services and Sam Houston State University, that's a good, something good to know about. We got a fascinating guest coming up. Before we get to that, however, let's take a brief look at our community calendar.
It's evolved over the years and not so much focused on a fundraising effort as it is to preserve the memory and to celebrate the times of Sam Houston and Margaret Houston. It encompasses all different types of crafts and skills and things of that time, and to celebrate Texas history and our pride in Texas history. So it's really a lot of fun. It's a great event.
Okay, well, that was a brief look at what's going on in our area here and here at Sam Houston State. Well, we got a treat now. We got a really terrific guest, and he's actually got some big news to talk about here in terms of a national championship that Sam Houston recently won. Our guest is Brian McCoplin, who is the Spirit Program Coordinator, correct?
Yes.
Do I have
yes.
it?
You are right.
Right,
Spirit
Brad?
coordinator. Yep.
Well, welcome to City Spotlight.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
And you are coach of a group that's been in the spotlight recently.
Yes, yes. We just returned from Daytona Beach, Florida, and we are returning with a national championship in all-girl Division I.
And what does that mean exactly? In other words,
How
how does that go about?
We compete against all divisions, same as football. Anyone that would compete in Division I, that's who we go against. And then it's a 2-minute and 15-second routine, and we compare each routines. And whoever the judges think is better, they hand the national title to. And we happen to win this year.
Just out of curiosity, how many judges do they have on something like that?
15.
15
Yep.
judges.
Yep.
And who are they? Where do they come from?
It's usually former coaches, former famous cheerleaders. Sometimes there's some famous gymnasts in there. It's just kind of all over. They can't be current people. So they don't have any ties to any programs.
Yeah. So it is objective.
Yep.
There's a passel of things I'd love to ask you about, and we probably won't have time for all of it. But one thing I want to ask right up front is, if a person comes here to Sam Houston and wants to be part of the Spirit Team program, do they have to be a gymnast?
No. We'll teach them whatever they need to know. We just have some minimum requirements in education. They have to be accepted at the university. But we can get them. They don't have to know anything about cheerleading, and they could be on the program.
Is it mandatory that they were a high school cheerleader?
Nope. They don't have to
So
have.
they don't have to have any requirements like that?
Yep, they could be a warm body and willing to work as hard as they can and have tons of school spirit. We'll teach them what they need to know.
Okay, here's the follow-up question to that. Have you actually had cases of that?
Yes, I have.
Or somebody had no experience?
Yep. I have. We've had multiple people come in that ended up being great cheerleaders. We had multiple people that have never done anything came in and be great Sammies, and they love it to death and are still involved in the program as alumni.
Well, I'll toot your horn for you. That probably speaks volumes about your ability to coach people too.
I try to do my best.
Well, I'd say you've done, done pretty well here.
Yeah.
Let's take a back step here and go back to how you got started in all this. Where did you grow up, and where did you grow up, and how did you get involved in cheerleading and spirit teams and so forth?
I grew up in small town in Kansas called Mulvane. A lot of people don't even know where it's at.
Which, and let me insert there, we have an instructor, professor here in the mass communication department who is from that same town.
Yep.
What are the odds of that?
I know. It shocked me there. I was in gymnastics all my life, and then ended up going to school in Kentucky because they gave me a full ride scholarship to go cheer, and that's how I got in. And I didn't know anything about cheerleading. I just know how to flip at the time.
So let me just interrupt. You got a college scholarship
Yes.
to
Yep.
come be a cheerleader, basically.
Yep. And I knew nothing about cheerleading. And they just saw my video of what I could do in gymnastics and said, "Here, we'll give you a full ride. Come up and be on our cheer team."
So in a sense, you were recruited.
Yep. I recruit tons of kids to come here. We
That was
hand
my
out
next question.
we hand out scholarships. All the way up to almost tuition and fees, almost a full ride here to come to cheer at Sam Houston State University.
We'll keep going about your career, and we'll
Sure.
come back to that. So, college in Kentucky.
Yep.
I'm always fascinated how somebody ends up somewhere. What was the path that finally led you to Sam Houston State University?
Well, actually, it was an alumni. Her husband coaches at Texas Tech, and I had a junior college, and I was like, I need to make the next step in my career and move on to a four-year university. She told me I needed to come here. She said that Sam Houston's a great college. She said she loved it there. I could make the cheer program very good. And just kept bugging me until I was like, okay, fine, I'll apply for it. And I applied for the job.
Did you ever heard of Sam
I
Houston?
didn't even know where Sam Houston was located, knew nothing about it.
Have you ever been to Texas?
No, I'd never been to Texas. It was an experience and all, and I've fallen in love with the town. I love it. She knew what she was talking about.
Yeah, it's a terrific place, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so what year did you come here?
0809.
Okay, and since you've been here, we were talking about before the show, how many national championships has Sam Houston won in that time?
Since I've been here, we have attained 9 national championships.
9 national championships.
Yep, I'm averaging 2 a year, except for this year. I had a down year, and I only brought 1 national championship home.
A down year, we only won 1. And break those out in categories. How does that work?
The dance team, the Orange Pride dance team, has won 4 national championships. since I've been here. The mascot program has won 2 national championships, and the co-ed team, cheer team, has won 2 national championships. And then this last year, only all-girl won this year. So.
And I just might mention that a member of that all-girl team is in one of my classes here, so it's kind of nice to have. I didn't know they had a mascot competition.
Yes, they
So
do.
in other words, Sammy Bearcat.
Yep, his division's a little different than everyone else because they don't break it down into schools. We compete against everyone. So, like in Texas, they'd be going against Texas Tech, University of Texas, SMU, Houston. I mean, every school is in one division. So he ended up winning it twice against every university.
And what do they do in the competition?
They do a skit. Pretty much, they're doing what they would do at a football game. They're trying to entertain the crowd. They have a dance segment. They have kind of a comedian section, and then it's all performed in music, sound effects. I mean, it's very entertaining to watch.
I always enjoy seeing Sammy the Bearcat around the campus here. Well, is there just one Sammy, or are there more than one Sammy?
Actually, no. We are running 3 full Sammy suits at one time, and there's about 15 people that'll do Sammy.
Now, do you have to be a gymnast to be Sammy?
No. Anyone that's willing to go out and make a fool of themselves in front of 16,000 people, you're perfect for the job.
Well, let's say entertain.
Yes.
Well, gosh, this has been a terrific record that you're on streak you got going in terms of national championships. Mm-hmm. Did you envision that you might attain this kind of success?
Nope, I did not see this coming.
What's it been like?
It's been a joy. The kids are what make it a national championship. They've worked very hard. I've just pointed them in the direction, and wherever I pointed, they started running, and it was great. And it made everything really easy. And then the alumni stood behind me, and the administration and the staff have all supported every decision that I've made, and it has been a pleasure to be here at Sam Houston.
In terms of coordinating the Spirit program here, what would you say is the biggest challenge?
Being one person in all the spots that I needed to be, because at some parts in the season, football, volleyball, basketball, and a little bit of spring baseball is all going on at the same time, and we're at every single one of those events.
Well, that's a terrific coordination job, isn't it?
It's a lot of hats.
How do you do it?
A very passionate wife. She's patient.
And understanding?
Yes.
Now, was she herself a cheerleader?
Yes, she was a cheerleader. She cheered for the University of Iowa. We met through that, so.
So she understands.
Oh, yeah.
Then. Yeah. Well, that's terrific. That's quite a record. And actually, you just won something else here on this campus, and
yes, I did.
that was the Sammy Award. And what was the category?
I won Outstanding Faculty Member for this year.
Well, congratulations. We've actually got some footage of that. Maybe we can take a look at that now. Okay, yeah, here are the Sammys. Actually, one of the hosts there is in one of my classes here, so
Yes.
I recognize him. You know, this is a terrific event here at Sam. Very professionally produced, and
Brandon Cooper works in my department. He puts this on and does a great job.
he does a fantastic job. And they work hard. They rehearse a lot,
Yes.
and my hat is off to them. And it comes off to me very professional. And they do it. They don't do it using a teleprompter or script in hand. They do it from memory.
Yeah.
They memorize these lines. Because last year when I went up on the stage, I asked them, I said, "Where's the teleprompter?" And they said, "There isn't one." And I said, "Well, where's your script?" "We don't have one. We memorize all this." So, well, there's the moment right there.
Yep. I did not expect to win the award. I was shocked, and it was very entertaining.
Yeah, it's kind of mindful of the Oscars
Yeah.
or something like that, and they.
And the trophy, the Sammy's heavy. I didn't expect it, and it's real glass and a
It's a
good plate.
very nice award.
Yes.
Yeah, you're proud to display that award. I keep mine right on the front of the desk.
Mine's on my desk right now. I even kept the little envelope they gave me.
Yeah, let's go back a little bit. You were talking about recruiting. Mm-hmm. How do you recruit?
I will hit a lot of high school football games, so I can get a lot of kids in large quantities. They have high school and state competition in the state of Texas, and I will go there.
So you go to the competitions.
Yes.
I see. Do you ever actually go to games and kind of scout cheer squads?
Very well-known high schools, we will go to those.
But do you yourself do that?
Yes, there's a high school. It's
Well, that
called-
gets to be time consuming.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Atascocita High School in Houston.
Sure.
They're very good. We always go down there. We try to get a lot of kids from there.
And how successful have we?
Oh, we usually get 1 or 2 kid a year.
You
from
keep
there.
winning national championships, that can do nothing but help your recruiting.
Yeah, the more we win, the easier it has been getting. I will admit that.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do the potential recruits mention? Are they aware of it?
Oh, yes.
Your record here.
And everyone that comes in, it's a little bit more pressure each year because they don't want to be the team that loses. So I mean, it starts getting harder and harder every year.
Tell me, we were talking before the program. I'm always fascinated by this. How do you put an actual, say at a competition, how do you put that routine together? Where does it start? What's the process?
We'll select the team, then narrow. I mean, because there's right now on each team there's at least 36 members, and we narrow it down to 20. And then from that 20, we'll bring in a choreographer, and him and me or her and me will start making the routine together. And then we just spend from January to March just practicing it, drilling it, getting it in their head. And by the time they get to nationals, it should be second nature to them. And assuming everything hits and we have the most difficult routine down there, we will be successful.
When can a student here at Sam Houston, can a freshman apply to be on a team?
Yes, we have
Is there
lots of
there
freshmen.
any class in terms of requirement you have to be a junior or something like that?
Nope, you have to be a full-time student, and you have to be in good standing in Sam Houston as a student. That's the only
So
requirement.
if I just walked on here as a freshman, I could come
Yes,
come apply, or do you have tryouts? How does that work?
we have tryouts in the first weekend of May, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and they try out to be on the team. And it's a 3-day process, and we kind of narrow it down, but they have to learn a traditional fight song, show some other skills, and then we do an interview process. And we'll narrow it down to the 30 on each team at that time.
Tell me if I'm wrong. This sounds to me that it's not unlike what professional sports teams like the Texans and the Rockets and all that have these cheer squads.
Very much like that.
That's a pretty tough competition in itself to go through.
Yes.
No, I can appreciate. Well, what's up in the future? What's up next for you?
Our co-ed team actually qualified for Worlds, and so a company's paying for our cheer team to fly to Orlando, Florida, and we'll compete against other countries in the cheer competition. And after that, we'll get back. The first weekend of May is tryouts. We're picking the next team, and we're trying to finish out our appearances for baseball and other things that we have to do on campus, and then go into the summer, wait for football to start.
Well, you got a full schedule. It never quits, does it?
Yep.
Brian, if somebody watching out there, a student or a parent or somebody, wanted information on this program, what do they do? They contact you?
Yeah, all my information and the programs is all on the website. If you go to Sam Houston homepage and just go to Spirit or the quick links and go to Spirit programs, we're all on there. Every question, we try to put every question on there. My personal email and phone number is on there. You're more than welcome to contact us with any questions.
Well, there you are. For anybody who wants to be part of the Spirit program in various forms here at Sam. Well, congratulations on the latest national championship.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your Sammy
Thank
Award,
you.
too.
Thank you. It's been a good year.
And based on history, it looks like great things are in store for
Let's hope it
what
keeps
you're
going.
doing here at Sam. And may we wish you all the best, continued success.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we're going to have more big news about national championships. Well, that was Brian McCoplin, who heads up the Spirit teams here at Sam. This is it for today on City Spotlight. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we hope that you will join us again soon. This is Peter Roussel, your host, saying so long for now.